Hello, grade 6 teachers. Today we're going to look at MAFS 6.NS.3.5. Look at unpacking the standard, some things that the teachers should be doing in the classroom, and as well as expectations for students. And we'll look at some misconceptions and how you can address those in the classroom. So let's get started. So the standard itself says, understand that positive and negative numbers are used together to describe quantities having opposite directions or values. They use examples such as temperature above below zero, elevation above below sea level, credits, debits, positive, negative, electrical charges in the standard. Use positive and negative numbers to represent quantities in real-world context, explaining the meaning of zero in each situation. So let's unpack that a little bit. So students are going to build their understanding of positive and negative numbers, specifically integers, in real-world scenarios as being opposite values or in opposite directions. They need to know things like 5 degrees below 0, -5, or 5 degrees above 0 is +5. Use both vertical and horizontal number lines to show all rational numbers, and must be able to explain the meaning of 0 in context. And so again, there's a lot of emphasis on that number 0 in this standard. So some things you can do as a teacher. Have students explore with multiple examples and experiences using positive and negative integers to represent situations. And so again, context really matters here, and we want the context to allow the students to make sense of the mathematics. So credits and debits for banking, maybe that's not real world to them, so we can use temperature, elevation, anything that really gets at the positive and negative in context. Have students investigate the use of both vertical and horizontal number lines to illustrate examples. So again, if we have temperature and elevation, that's a natural application of a maybe vertical number line. Have students create their own examples and show on their number lines and explain the meaning of 0. So again, really pushing as a teacher for what the 0 mean in this context. And what we mean by that is if they choose elevation, like they need to know that 0 means at sea level, or banking, 0 means you don't have a balance, it's not negative or positive, and so they just need to be able to explain again that meaning of 0. Pose questions such as, when you look at the number line, what do you notice about the location of the negative numbers? This is new for our students, and so we need to lead them to discover that all negative numbers are less than 0. And so that would be, to the left on the horizontal number line, or, below on the vertical number line, 0. So some things the students could be doing. Understand that 0 represents the position on the number line. They need to discover that every negative integer is less than 0. Understand the meaning of 0 is determined by its context. So again, Celsius, a thermometer, everything below 0 is negative, everything above 0 is positive. Represent real-world scenarios such as bank accounts, temperature, sea level, and they need to use that precise math vocabulary, so it's a good application or opportunity for Math Practice 6 to discuss positive and negative numbers. So some misconceptions maybe we can anticipate and address is some students may think the greater the magnitude of the number, the greater the value of the number. And so their misconception is -10 is greater than -8 because 10 is greater than 8. So to address this misconception, get out with the document just a quick number line. And this is something that we'd want the students to experience or do. And so this is just a horizontal number line. And let's say the student is having trouble. They think -10, so they think -10 here is bigger than -8. And so to address that, we can just start, with their background knowledge, some prior knowledge to build off of it. And so we can start over here and just ask them about the number 5, maybe the number 3, and say, which one, as we go left, what's happening to the value of the number? And with their background knowledge, they know 3 is less than 5, so that should, be easy enough. And say, okay, well then, what about, 1 and 3? And they'll say, 1's less. And so, all right, with that pattern continues, 0, -1, which one's bigger, 0 or -1, and -1 or -2, -2 or -3. And as you continue the pattern, they'll see that -8 is to the right on the horizontal number line of -10. It has a bigger value. -8 is bigger. Right? So we'll break that misconception of -10 is less than -8, or -8 is greater than -10. So it's just a way, hands-on, number line should be in front of them for the standard for sure, and they should have access to that to make sense of the mathematics. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me or your regional specialist, and thank you for making PascoMath more awesome.